A building is on fire next to the North Gauteng High Court. It's where the Senzo Mayor murder trial is expected to resume this morning. Slindelo Masikane has been monitoring developments there. Let's check in with her now. Good morning, Slindelo. What is the latest? Have they managed to douse the flames?
Well, for the most part, Mfunda, I'm going to ask my colleague Jewel Matlala to give you a visual of what we're seeing right now. It does seem as though the fire has thankfully been contained without any casualties. We did see, of course, that there was one person who seemed to have suffered some kind of smoke inhalation. But of course, at this point, details still quite very sketchy as to what exactly transpired here. These are the officers of the Legal Practice Council, the Gauteng provincial officers, and this is where we understand, of course, that the LPC not only regulates the conduct of lawyers, but of course this is where the general public can also come and lay their complaints in terms of any issues they have with the conduct of legal practitioners. As you can see, that firefighters are now officially on the scene. They are cordoning off this area. We were inside, we were much closer to the building earlier on, Mfundo, but since the firefighters have arrived, they've asked us to just move away so that they can be able to continue to conduct their work. In front of me, in front of the officers, you can see one of the top officials of this particular office. That's Mr. Johan van Staden. In fact, earlier on, I had noticed that he was one of the officials who were inside at the time of the fire, who was trying to douse those flames with a hose pipe. I was hoping to try and speak to him, but you can see that he is, of course, still quite engaged with those that are trying to contain this particular situation. So we have at least 3 firefighter trucks on the scene. We do have paramedics as well who are on the scene. We did try to speak to some of those who were in the building. I'm going to try once more, but a lot of those who were there, either they're too scared to tell me what happened, or they really simply did not see exactly what took place in here. These are just some of the people who were inside or who were going to try and get some services from the LPC. Hi guys, anybody who was inside? Was there anybody inside? Was there anybody who was inside when the fire began? You can just talk to me. Did you see what happened? You didn't see how it started. You were in the office, so you don't know. Okay, maybe just tell me about, you were here at the offices. What were you going to do and what did you see?
I didn't say anything because I was in the office, so I don't know what happened.
So you don't know how it started? You don't know?
We only hear their voices and they shouted. We don't know what happened.
And then they just said you must evacuate.
We evacuate because of the smoke. Because we are smoke. We are working here downstairs.
Oh, you were working here downstairs. You were also the similar situation, Mark?
I was also in the office.
You were also in the office, and then you were just told to evacuate?
Yeah, to evacuate. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. As you can see, Mfundo, very difficult to get any kind of information exactly as to what transpired here. But I see Mr. van Staden coming a little bit closer. Maybe he will speak to us. Mr. van Staden, I saw you with the hose pipe. Really some amazing work you did to contain the flames. Do you know what happened here?
Well, we'll provide particulars a bit later. It's just a bit hectic now, so we'll do it a bit.
Do we know if the fire's been contained?
Yeah, apparently it has been, yes.
No casualties?
No, nothing at all.
Okay. All right. As you can see, Mfunda, I'm really just trying to get us as much information as we can. We know that the spokesperson for the LPC, that's Mr. Kabelo Litibele, will be on the scene sometime a little bit later. But at this point, firefighters have seemingly, as we've gotten confirmation from the director of the Gauteng Legal Practice Council, that's Mr. Johan van Staden, that they have managed to contain the fire. He was one of those officials as well who had his sleeves rolled up holding a hose pipe before firefighters could arrive to try and douse those flames. But at this point you can see that it doesn't seem as though there's any smoke at this point. The flames have been doused, and at this point we just await some official word in terms of what happened here. This particular office, Mfundo, is right next to the North Gauteng High Court, where we are expecting, of course, the resumption of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial.
And I suppose it's quite comforting that they have managed to contain the fire because the proximity was a bit of a concern that would it have any impact in the proceedings of today. What are we expecting, though, insofar as that particular case is concerned? Today we're expecting cross-examination to continue. What exactly?
Yeah, that was the concern, Mfundo, because you will remember that due to the proximity, there was a concern that we might have to evacuate the courthouse as well. So that could have impacted proceedings, but it seems as though that concern has been allayed. At this point, what I can tell you in terms of the trial itself is that we're expecting cross-examination, possibly to continue, of Sergeant Thabo Mosia. He is the state's first witness in this trial. And of course, we are taking a lengthy postponement to allow Advocate Zandile Mshololo, for accused number 5, to familiarize herself with the second docket, that's docket 375, which was, of course, introduced during cross-examination of counsel for accused 124. And we know that this docket has put a lot of drama into this trial, because that docket has a different set of witnesses. It has a different scenario in terms of what happened on the nights that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. And we're also expecting, of course, a letter to be given to the court in terms of the NPA's decision on docket 375 on whether it will prosecute. This letter says that it will only make a decision on whether to prosecute docket 375 after the conclusion of this current trial against the 5 men accused. So we are, of course, expecting those court proceedings to start at around 10 a.m. this morning.
All right, Slindelo, we'll leave it there for now and catch up with you around 10 o'clock when proceedings do indeed get underway. That's a reporter, Slindelo Masikane.